Hi, family. Welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Wilma. If today is your first time here, I welcome you. On this channel, I film content relating to faith, waiting, marriage, motherhood, and lifestyle. So if any of these contents relate to you, do me a favor, hit the subscription button, like, and share this video. Now, in today's video, it's not going to be a very long video, but I'm just going to be sharing a few insights into one of the chit chat night sessions that we had recently. So if you didn't know, I am also the host of the My Faith, My Womb show, a show which is dedicated to couples battling infertility since I and my husband went through that challenge for 5 years before we were finally blessed with our miracle baby. So today we are going to talk about the issue of overcoming the guilt associated with abortion. It's going to be an interesting discussion from some of the revelations we had in our community. So stick and stay. I'll be right back. Welcome back. Let's just get into the video. So, as I mentioned, today we are going to talk about the guilt, the associated emotions that come along with abortion, and especially when you are on the journey to conception and you've been on this road before, you get to a point when you start now thinking about your life, you start thinking about the decisions you have made in your past life. And if abortion was one of those decisions, you would now begin to have a lot of emotions running through you on what if, why did what happened, why didn't I do that, and all those things. So let me just start by saying that so abortion could be planned, that is, you find yourself pregnant, and perhaps at that time you are not ready for a child or ready for a baby with your partner or your husband, and some circumstances determine for you to, terminate the pregnancy. Now you could also have what do you call it? You could also have another form of abortion which is based on medical reasoning. Sometimes maybe the pregnancy could put a risk to the mother of the baby, so they might have to terminate the pregnancy. Now, before I continue, let me put a disclaimer there that I am not a health professional or a doctor or a fertility expert in any way. But on our community, we share these daily conversations because there are issues that are relating to TTC moms globally. So we use our experiences, we share, and we learn from each other. Now, that with that being said, the final thing which I'm going to talk about is aborting non-living things, and I'm going to get into that later on. Okay, so for instance, you could have a vision, a dream, a business, and that can also be terminated. Okay, that is not related to the journey of TTC, but I feel it is very important, this discussion. So I'm going to add it anyway. Now, moving on, before anybody decides to go in for the solution or the route of abortion or terminating pregnancy, there are lots of emotions that are attached because, first and foremost, especially for teenagers who find themselves in that position, it could be, it could start from shame, from bringing shame to the family, as in our African, most of our African countries, that's mostly what happens. When you go through that route, you've almost more than likely brought shame to the family. So you are feeling so ashamed of yourself. Okay, there are feelings of regret for having spent just probably 5 minutes of pleasure to endure such a lifelong consequences or results from that pleasure. Now, another emotions that could be running through anyone at the crunch or at the crossroad of considering abortion could be anxiety, the fear of the unknown. What could happen? Can I lose this baby? Will I die? Fear, the fear that you have within you as to whether something might go wrong, and so forth and so forth. Self-judgment, okay? You begin to despise yourself, especially if you were in a position where perhaps you didn't even love the person, or for the purpose of this conversation, for people that may have been raped. What did I do wrong to deserve this? Couldn't he have done it to any other person? Why me? The why me factor, the why me factor. So before anybody considers to terminate any pregnancy, these are some of the emotions. Now, when a solution or a place is found, or a mechanism through which the baby can be aborted, whether through medication orally or actual D&C procedures, whichever route, after that period, after that termination, there is a brief moment of relief. I believe that girl will feel so relieved that she doesn't have to carry this burden of taking care of this child for the rest of her life. However, what most of these people do not realize is that the pain never goes away. The pain never ceases. The torments, the emotional trauma. In fact, if there's anything we can say, is the fact that the pain is now only beginning. And then we come to the post-abortion emotions. So after the whole process, after you've had a moment to yourself to think and clear and all that, now after you've gone through this brief period of relief, there is what we call the post abortion emotions. So you now begin to go through the real ordeal, from a few people that we have encountered on our community platform. This is where the real struggles of trying to forgive yourself comes in, the regret of the decision that you made. And most often, these decisions or these looking back moments don't often occur so much until perhaps when the person in question is married, and now there is an issue with childbearing, and then the issues of the past that were not dealt with begins to surface. Here is this lady who now begins to blame herself consistently, because perchance she may not even be married to that person which she got pregnant with in the first place. She begins to imagine what could have been, what would her life have been like if she still kept on and held on to the pregnancy. If she still had the baby, what would life have been like? Would she have been struggling for a baby when God easily gave her a child in the beginning? She now begins to self-isolate because the trauma of not having children is more than she can possibly handle. So she begins to withdraw from people, from events, from activities, and she just becomes isolated. Now, the thing is that in all these things, we need to get to a place where we get the will, or you develop the will to overcome. The first thing I'm going to say is that God still loves you regardless of what you have done, what you did, what you didn't do right, and all that. God still loves you anyway. And again, in our deepest moments of failure, in our deepest moments of weakness, we need to be careful what kind of decisions we are pushed to make, because it could have lifelong consequences on us, and not just us, and for also the people close to us. It could be our spouses, our families, and whatnot. Now, the next thing I'm going to say is that you need to go back to the place of grieving. Yes, people do not know, but sometimes grieving is just a route to healing. Okay, so if you are watching me and perhaps you haven't gotten to that place where you have actually grieved over the loss of that baby, because that baby was a human being. So sometimes you need to push and force yourself to that place of grief to have closure. Okay, it is so important. And after that, you begin to now forgive yourself for the decisions that you took that are seemingly now having an effect or having some form of repercussions in the form of you trying hard to conceive and still the baby not coming. Now, the third thing I'm going to say is that it is important you seek medical help. Seek medical help to know your stand, to know the alternatives, to know what other options there are. If your womb needs to be cleared, if your womb needs to be treated, if some damages was done during the procedure in those days, that needs to be worked on now for you to have a chance at becoming a mother or a mother of your own children or having your own biological children. Please do so. And I'm also going to state here that please seek professional counseling. I cannot stress it enough. Your pastor may not necessarily be a professional in terms of counseling and a psychologist. You could need a psychologist, you could need a how do you call those people, a therapist, okay, or a psychological therapist to assist you, okay. So please don't just leave it to talking to your pastor and you'll be fine. No, sometimes you need to seek professionally certified and accredited counseling experts to help you through these moments, okay? And as I said, God's love for you remains unchanging. So, and He says that, behold, He's going to do a new thing, because anyone that has accepted Christ is a new creation. Okay, so just embrace that promise, that gracious gift of salvation God has given us, and connect with in faith and believe God for renewal, that you're on a new journey and God can have mercy on you, because He chooses whom He will have mercy on. Having once had an abortion is not the end of the world when it comes to trying to conceive. God can make you a fruitful mother of many children, or a joyful mother of many children, again, for that matter. It is only you believing and taking the necessary steps to ensure that it happens. So I don't know. Comment in the comment section if any of these I'm talking about relates to you. Have you been in that position before? How was it like? How did you feel like? And if you were able to overcome, how did you overcome? Let's share these tips so that our sisters in the community, who are having these challenges trying to conceive and are in a place of self-doubt and anxiety and unforgiveness of themselves because of what they feel they have done, okay, will be able to overcome. So I pray that this video blesses you. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.